The reason that I waited so long to watch this film was basically because it's a long film and it only ever seemed to be on late at night, or else in the middle of the day when I was working. And so I finally got a chance to see it. Welcome to my review of Whitney Houston, I Wanna Dance With Somebody. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something to watch this weekend. Yeah, so obviously saw millions and millions and millions of trailers for this film, and then just could not find a good time to go and see it. And finally got the chance, randomly was out late at night and had to kill some time, went to see this film. The first thing about this film that kind of struck me is obviously there was the Whitney documentary that came out. I know I saw that in Denver, but I think it was pre-COVID times, I think, because I'm pretty sure it was quite a busy cinema that I saw it in. I should have checked beforehand. So there's the Whitney documentary. Then there was the Jennifer Hudson Whitney movie, which I watched just over a year ago. That must have come out around about September, October time in 2021. So there was quite a lot of Whitney movies, and everybody was saying, why do we need another Whitney movie? Why do we need another Whitney movie? Well, those two movies, obviously the documentary is true to life, and there was a lot of darkness in her life. And then the Jennifer Hudson one pretty much kind of followed the life story and starts at the very beginning from her childhood, which was not nice. And so those movies were both really dark. So even just the title of this film shows you that it's a more positive take on the Whitney story, because she was such a massive star and she had so much impact on the world of music, and she broke so many barriers in the world of music and still holds records in the music world, which is like so fantastic. And people don't focus on that. They focus on the drugs, and they focus on the kind of headlines, and they focus on the tragedy. And I think it was really nice that this really focused on that. And just, yeah, the title of the film, I Want to Dance With Somebody, like, it's not like, oh, Whitney, it's tragedy. It's like, it's celebration. It's great. Because of that, this film kind of like feels a little bit more like a musical biopic than obviously the Jennifer Hudson one. But also it feels along the lines of kind of Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody in a sense. However, it feels more concentrated than those. I think both of those films cover a bit more in a way, and a bit more of the kind of industry ins and outs in some ways as well than this film does. Whereas this film is so concentrated because it's just the one artist, and she didn't kind of like go through a massive relationship crisis. She didn't come out as gay. She didn't kind of enter rehab and kind of come back out with a big comeback. Whereas, you know, those other films did. And I think because it's so focused in on her and just her own personal journey, as opposed to her relationships and, oh, this is this record deal and this is this money, I think that's where it kind of just, it does feel more concentrated than those films. But it is definitely more along those lines than the Jennifer Hudson Whitney movie, and than obviously the documentary. And the singing moments in it just felt so pure, and so kind of like, you weren't like, oh, right, we're going to do a song now and have a montage, or, oh, she's going to break into song and we're going to have like this and this. But the song moments, it was like, okay, now we're watching a performance. We're watching a Whitney performance, because the person playing her, I was like, sat in the cinema going, she is so familiar. Where do I know her from? She is so familiar. Where do I know her from? I was convinced that I knew her from Orange is the New Black. Star Wars, of course, obviously. Why would I not compute the fact that she's British and she's English and she's from Star Wars? So that was good to find out afterwards. That was a look as soon as I got home, because I was driving the entire time after that. As soon as I got home, look. Oh, that's where she's from. Okay. But she was absolutely phenomenal. Like, her voice was just so pure. The fact that, again, the film felt so concentrated because so much it was the case of the camera being on her face while she's singing, focused on her face, focused on her performance, focused on just her. And so the fact that you could like see the music coming out of her and see the like enunciation of like her mouth shape and her tongue, which sounds really kind of like gross in a way, but like that was something that really impressed me with the film. I thought she did an amazing job with the acting. And then we have Stanley Tucci in this film, which again automatically kind of elevates a film to be a more positive experience. And Stanley Tucci is just like this dad figure in general, but in this film for her as well, his character is wonderful. And it's weird at the beginning because he has some hair. He doesn't have like loads of hair, but he has some hair in the beginning. And so as the film goes on and time goes on, he obviously loses more hair. And so by the end of the film, he looks more like Stanley Tucci and less like the character, which was a bit weird in a way, but kind of comforting in a way as well. And I just think he did an amazing job as well. And again, it was really concentrated. It wasn't like, oh, here's a record exec and here's an assistant guy and here's his secretary and blah, blah, blah. And like, it was a little bit like when I watched King Richard and there were so many people within the industry that seemed like they were out to get people, and the Richard character in King Richard had to be like really savvy. You felt like you were safe with Stanley Tucci, and him kind of like pitching these songs to Whitney Houston was just fantastic. So yeah, so like overall, I really enjoyed it. It was a really good time. It was uplifting and positive, and it wasn't like, oh, I mean, this is not a spoiler, but it wasn't like, oh, they got to the dying bit and like we saw it and it was really gory. We saw the night leading up to it, and then the screen just went black and we had a bit of reflection, and then it was the end of the film. And I think that was really nice. When I say we had a bit of reflection, it wasn't like the screen went black and the whole theatre got told to like reflect on something. We had a bit of reflection within the film. But yeah, I just thought it was really good. I think that it was worthwhile seeing it on the big screen because you had such amazing audio. And as I say, I don't think I would necessarily have noticed the details with like the lips and the mouth shape and the like belting from the belly that went on with our main character and the lead actress if I'd watched it on the small screen. However, I don't think it has to be one that you have to see on the big screen. For a film that's coming towards the end of its run, like I saw the only showing of it that night, it was a fairly full cinema. And so should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one? Yeah, I think definitely. I think it was just really good. I came out the cinema feeling uplifted. I came out the cinema feeling like I'd seen a good film. I felt like I got my money's worth, and I think I came out feeling like I'd watched a good piece of cinema, like it was worthwhile. I got a little bit of everything. I didn't cry, I did laugh, I did have feelings, and so that was great. So yeah, that's my conclusion on that one. Bit of a longer review, bit more of a reflection this week. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know in comments if there is a particular movie you want to hear my thoughts on here. The Oscar noms are out, so I'm going to be watching some more of those if I haven't brought you reviews of them already. Looking forward to that. I will be back with another movie review for you next Sunday, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my bookish content coming in the week. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you then.